In this video, I'm going to show you how to construct a drawing of a face from the side profile perspective using the Loomis method. We're going to start with basic geometric shapes to establish the broad shape of the head, then measure the proportions to accurately place the features. The principles of drawing the face from the side are the same as drawing the turned head and the face from the front. Start with a circle to represent the cranial mass, then add guidelines to indicate the proportions and middle of the face. From here, you can map out the placement of the features, then of course shade the drawing to give it depth and realism. I made a video that gives a full introduction to the Loomis method, along with a tutorial on how to draw a turned head, and I've put a link to that in the description, so check that out if you want to know more about the approach. Drawing portraits with the Loomis method is a great way to practice drawing the head, as it will attune your eye to the proportions of the face, exercise your ability to place facial features correctly, and set you up to draw unique facial characteristics. More than anything though, it will help you get used to a drawing process that puts importance on establishing the structure and composition of a drawing before creating details and shading. And I think that the success of a drawing is all in the process. So with that in mind, let's get stuck in. First, draw a circle which will represent the cranial mass of the head. Make sure to make it large enough to fill the paper and centre it in the paper to make for a good composition. Then, in the middle of this circle, draw another circle that is 2/3 of the size. The inner circle represents the side plane of the face, the top of which curves around the top of the head, the bottom of which will taper towards the jaw. I'm starting the drawing with light lines, as I will erase these guides later on. Divide the two circles in half with a vertical line, which shows us where the side of the face ends and the back of the head starts. Next, draw a horizontal line through the middle of the circles. This is the line on which the brow will sit. Now I'm going to divide the face into thirds, with the hairline sitting on top of the inner circle, the nose line sitting on the bottom of the inner circle, and the horizontal chin line, which marks the bottom of the face. To find the chin line, take the measurement from the brow line to the nose line, then drop this same measurement down. At this point, you could also draw a vertical line to show the front of the face on the outer edge of the larger circle. This line tapers inwards slightly, so curve the line to show the angle of the facial projection. The mouth line is approximately 1/3 of the way down between the nose and the chin, so create another horizontal guideline to mark its position. Now we've marked where the features will be positioned, so let's draw the jaw. The shape of the jaw extends from this vertical dividing line in the middle of the circle and drops down roughly 1/3 of the way between the two horizontal guidelines, then changes angle to taper towards the chin. The angle of the jaw and shape of the chin can vary from person to person. I'm going to mark a small diagonal line to show the chin width, where the jaw joins to the front of the face. I'm still sketching the lines at this stage, and I can refine them later in the drawing process when I want to make a more polished appearance. You can keep your lines quite light and angular when you start to show the angle of the curves, then refine the lines to a smooth contour before you shade the drawing. The ear sits in the bottom left-hand quadrant of this circle. The top of the ear lines up with the brow, and the bottom lines up with the nose. The shape of the ear is a C-like curve that's been diagonally sliced at the top. We have the broad face shape measured and outlined, but we need to start placing the features. So first, I'm going to draw another horizontal line to mark where the eyes will sit. They sit just below the brow and exactly halfway from the top of the head, which we marked with this outer circle. The eye socket will line up with the edge of the inner circle, so the corner of the eye will be spaced slightly outside of the inner circle. I'm going to outline the eye shape, outlining the lashes and eyeball as this sideways triangle. Then surrounding this, draw the eye socket. It meets the edge of the inner circle as a large arrow shape, then joins to the brow. The eye socket takes up roughly half the space between the brow and the nose lines and extends across the brow line. You could also draw a slight arc for the brow. I next outline the side profile of the nose. The glabella, where the forehead joins to the top of the nose, angles in slightly towards the eye socket, just above the eyelid. The bridge of the nose extends outwards. You can customize the shape depending on the person you're drawing. In this drawing, the person's nose is fairly straight, but there's a sharp angle where it joins to the base of the nose. If you find it easier, you could draw these as two straight lines, then round the corner afterwards. To draw the side profile of the mouth, take into account the mouth line that you drew earlier, which is 1/3 of the way between the nose and the chin, as this will guide the placement of the lips. Sketch the curve of the philtrum, a slightly concave line that connects the base of the nose to the top of the upper lip. From there, draw the upper lip as a soft curved shape that extends outwards and then recedes gently towards the mouth line. Below this, add the lower lip as a fuller curve that mirrors the upper lip but protrudes slightly more. Pay attention to the subtle variations in this curvature, as this will give the lips a more natural appearance. The lips should also follow the plane of the face that I drew earlier, which curves inwards slightly. The work that I put into the earlier stage is paying off because it means that I can broadly follow the guides and add the details of the features. Round the chin shape you drew earlier, and there you have the broad outline for the side of the face. The next step would be to draw the hair, then some more details on the face and features, then shade the drawing. I next sketch in the eyelid. To sketch this, I imagine the lid which has a slight thickness to it, enveloping the spherical shape of the eyeball. It will curve slightly inwards towards the eyebrow. The lower lid is smaller but indicates the outward projection of the eye. The details on the side of the nose are the nostril and the ala of the nose, which is the piece of skin surrounding the nostril. I draw a small sideways comma shape for the nostril and a C-curve for the ala of the nose. These sections will be the darkest sections of the drawing, so I'm adding in a little thickness to the contour lines. To refine the details on the lips, I'm going to outline the vermilion border, which is essentially just a fancy name for the lip line. I'm drawing the vermilion border as two small lengthened teardrop shapes. The brow follows the general shape of the brow line we drew earlier, so sketch the arch and end of the brow which will line up with the eye socket arrow shape. The hair I'm going to draw is long and straight and tucked behind the ear. I'm just sketching the general outline of the volume for now, but I'm paying attention to the overall shape of the hairline and how it frames and flows around the face. The ear is perhaps the most complex feature in this drawing. I'm drawing a curve that follows the top and side of the ear shape to show the width of the helix on the side, then sketching a small triangular shape for the tragus, which is the bit of skin and cartilage that covers the ear canal. So after I've created a contour drawing with all the features outlined, I'm going to go in and erase all the guidelines and neaten up the contour outline. With a neat contour sketch, I'm going to start the shading by establishing the base skin tone. I just sharpened my pencil with a knife and sandpaper, and I'm going to use some of this graphite powder that it created to create a smooth skin texture. So I'm using a brush to spread the graphite powder across the paper. You could also just shade lightly and evenly with the side of your pencil to achieve a smooth texture, then blend with a tortillon. I've established the mid-tone value of the face, so I'm going to work on increasing the contrast by shading with more pressure around the features. The darker shadow areas are located around the lash line, eyelid, nostril, lips, brow, ear, and on the neck, where the chin is casting a shadow. I'm working on slowly increasing the contrast in the shadows to avoid shading too dark too early on and softening some of the edges of the shadows by blending the pencil with a tortillon to achieve a realistic appearance. I'm also lifting some of the graphite from the paper with my kneaded eraser to create highlight tones around the cheekbone and jaw. Around the jaw and side of the face, I'm using the stamping technique with the kneaded eraser. To do this, I kneaded the eraser so that it was flat on one side, then I repeatedly use a stamping motion in the area I want to create highlights to subtly lift graphite in large areas. This is a great way to create the illusion of soft diffused reflected light. After I've lifted these highlights, I've further increased the dark values around the features to create contrast in the face. To shade the hair, I'm going to use the same technique that I used to create the mid-tone value for the face, of brushing graphite powder to create a soft, even value. The hair in my drawing is quite a bit darker than the face. The light source is coming from the top and side of the head, so the hair will reflect the light at the top and below the ear. I'm thinking about the reflected light on the hair in terms of the basic shapes they create, blocking that in, then refining details with my pencil and precision eraser to create the illusion of hair texture. By detailing a few strands here and there, it creates a sense of focus in the drawing. I'm blending the hair with a tortillon to make it look smooth, then creating a few more darker and lighter details with my sharp pencil and with the precision eraser where I want strands to stand out. With the finishing touches done, the portrait drawing is complete. The Loomis drawing process can be applied to any portrait. It's all about observing the basic shapes and structures, establishing the proportions, then refining and adding details to create the appearance of light and texture. If there are any drawing tutorials you want to see me make, feel free to leave a comment and I'll take a look. I have a drawing course that I created for beginner and intermediate artists who want to start drawing. The course consists of 55 lessons that will take you from complete beginner to being able to draw realistic portraits. It's called Drawing Fundamentals and you can find it on my website at courses.finearttutorials.com. The benefits of taking this course are that you can learn in a structured environment with a tested method for improvement with access to a community of artists. You can also get 2 free ebooks when you sign up to my email list. I'll put the links below so you can check it out. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.